Hello, welcome to another video. Wow, my bedhead is nuts. In this one, we're going to be talking about Python 3.15 Alpha 4 and 5 and how Python accidentally released an old version, and I caught it, and ultimately led to some improvement in the release process of Python. Let's jump into it. Okay, so here's from the top, Python 3.15.0 Alpha 5. I know it's an alpha release, you know, it probably is less impactful that I caught this mistake in an alpha release and not in an actual point release, but nonetheless, it still was you know, a little shocking. But Alpha 4 was incorrectly released against a version that was, you know, almost 2.5 weeks old. So there was an extra alpha that got released. And you might ask, how did I catch this? Why did I care? And how did they end up making this better? And so I'm going to show you that. So for those of you that don't know, I maintain Dead Snakes. Dead Snakes does forward ports and back ports of Python versions to Ubuntu LTS releases. So for instance, you can run all of these Python versions that are still the ones that can be built from source, because it turns out Python 3.6 doesn't build on modern Ubuntu versions due to libscl stuff, but or OpenSSL stuff. But anyway, I build forward ports and back ports, and I have a series of release tooling that does most of this automatically for me. So for instance, I didn't do anything 4 hours ago for the 3.13.12 and 3.14.3 releases. Those just, you know, auto promoted for me. You know, my automation works. Hooray! In addition to releasing the actual built and tagged versions of Python for Dead Snakes, I also provide nightly versions. So these are every night. I think it's actually like 3 a.m. UTC or something like that. Well, I guess it's 4 hours ago. That would make sense. That's why these line up. Every night, the tip of each of these branches is either rebased or rebuilt, and versions of those packages are released. So you can see here, for instance, the 3.15.0 Alpha 5 plus 182 commits was promoted 4 hours ago, for example. And so this allows you to validate the bleeding edge of Python in case you wanted to test something right as it landed on mainline. And this has actually caught a lot of bugs. A lot of people use these in GitHub Actions CI pipelines, and it's been really helpful for, at least I think it's been helpful for the community to provide these packages such that people can find mistakes as early as possible. I know GitHub Actions also provides alpha and such builds, but these go a little bit further and are hopefully more up to date. Anyway, my release automation for building these nightly packages noticed something a little suspicious when it was trying to update to Alpha 4. So you can see it was already at Alpha 3, in fact 311 commits ahead of Alpha 3. And when it attempted to merge Alpha 4 in, which is what this commit represents here, obviously, you know, my output could be a little bit better and show some more information, but it was the minimal thing that works, so I didn't bother. After, you know, sitting down and actually looking at what this commit points to, I realized it was Alpha 4. But what happened is when it tried to merge that commit in, it realized it was not fast forward, and so there was an error here. A merge conflict happened while merging a tag into another tag, which generally shouldn't happen. There are a few cases where it should happen, like if you're doing a backport, you know, a emergency hotfix release, like that will branch off from the mainline. And this has happened, I think, twice in Python, where again my release automation noticed it, but in that case it was actually an intentional thing that happened there, whereas this is an accidental one. Now, what actually happened? So I decided to sit down and look at the Git history and figure out what went wrong here. I noticed that, actually we can show this in cpython. I should have opened this beforehand. Now you get to see the Anthony window manager in action. Yes, 21 high, and then cpython git log decorate, or actually git log grep 3.15.0, I don't know what it is, alpha, not dot star, oh no, it would be dot star because of the regex. Alpha 4, there should be a commit for this. Or not, maybe it's capital alpha. That's not helpful. This is not helpful at all. That's 2.7. Okay. Let's see. Git log 3.15.0 alpha 5. I think it's v prefixed. Yeah. Okay. So there should be. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So we can see where alpha 4 was tagged here. Wait, why did it not give me the graph view here? Oh, because I did first parent. That'd be why. Shush, everything is going wrong in this video. No, stop. Okay, here we are. So we can see this is when it was realized that the alpha 4 was the wrong release. There had been an additional set of commits that had happened since then. This is where alpha 4 had been merged back into main. Generally, a main merge on main, it should be a little bit suspicious here. But if we actually trace this back, you can see that there's all these commits that were left behind. Yes, there are lots and lots of commits that were left behind. Let me just scroll faster because we're never going to get there otherwise. Here we go. So you can see this was the mainline commit that happened. 315 alpha 4 was tagged on top of that. And then you can see on these dots over here. And then this is where main progressed further. These are all the commits that got left behind here. And then eventually it was merged back together. And so this is what I noticed and what I went and made an issue about. I was like, what the heck? It seems to be tagged on top of this really old commit from December, and which meant it was missing all of these commits. These are the ones we scrolled through. 238 commits were left behind. I CC'd the release manager and was like, what? And it turns out it was a mistake. You know, everyone makes mistakes. All code is broken, et cetera, et cetera. And fortunately, there was a quick release made right after the fact. And I think the best part about this is the release process is going to be improved forever because of this. Hugo, fortunately, was like, oh man, oops, I don't want to make this mistake again. So let's put something in place that makes this harder to screw up and adjust Python's release tooling to improve this process. I had actually not seen this repository before. This one was new to me. Fortunately, someone in my chat found it. I was like, I know they have release scripts somewhere. I just didn't know where to look. But basically, Hugo was like, we should make sure that we're on the right branch and that the branch is up to date, so we don't have to, make the mistake in the future. And just yesterday, which is what reminded me of making this video, just yesterday, a check was added to the release tools to make sure that the branch is correct, the tag is correct, and that the stuff is not too old. There's some additional ideas to make things better, but for now, this would have prevented the mistake that was made and makes cpython releasing better forever. But anyway, I wanted to show this off because I thought it was kind of cool to see like how, a weird nightly script that I wrote happened to catch a funny little mistake and led to an extra alpha release, but in the end, improved the process forever. Anyway, hopefully you found this useful. If there are additional things you'd like me to explain, leave a comment below or reach out to me on the various platforms. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.